Oh. Good evening to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rudra Bhandari, Department of Yoga Science, University of Patanjali, Haridwar. I welcome to all viewers, especially great healthcare professionals from Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, Chandigarh, for their spontaneous hard work and dedication for prevention and treatment of COVID-19 infected patients. My special thanks to Professor Akshay Anand and his team for the invitation and support to share some yogic ideas and practices from the dignified platform of Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research. Dear friends, the COVID-19 has been declared pandemic by WHO. I am advised to customize my presentation within 20 to 30 minutes. Therefore, I think it's better to share yogic practices to combat COVID-19 infection. As per latest research report, severe acute respiratory distress syndrome, stroma and sepsis formation, elevated D-dimers, coagulopathy, severe systemic disease, and multi-organ failure are the complications induced by severe SARS-CoV-2 virus infection leading to death of the infected patients. Additionally, a cross-sectional study conducted by China by sampling 1,257 health workers from 34 hospitals reported that health workers engaged in diagnosis, treatment, and nursing care of COVID-19 suspected or confirmed cases are very prone to experience symptoms of stress, depression, anxiety, and poor quality of life. I was just trying to access the database to find some research articles in connection to yoga and its efficacy to prevent and heal COVID-19 infection. Unfortunately, I could not find. But as per developed pathophysiology of COVID-19 infection, robust bio and psych immunities may help to be asymptomatic and cope with the infections. Interestingly, SARS and coagulopathy are directly linked to impaired cardiopulmonary functions. And as I told you earlier, severe acute respiratory distress syndrome, coagulopathy, and the formation of stroma and sepsis are the main complications to lead the death of COVID-infected patients. So where is the link between yoga practice and the prevention and the healing of COVID-19 infection? Dear friends, yoga is an optimal way of living. It promotes the health by inducing positive effects on immune, cardiopulmonary, neurological, and energy pathways. Persistent practice of yoga helps to enhance the immunomarkers like T cell, natural killer cell, immunoglobulin A, and decreases inflammatory markers like interleukin 1, 2, 6, 7, 10, which are interestingly elevated during the COVID-19 infection. Interestingly, one of the research carried by Dean Ornish in connection to lifestyle change and the prostate cancer reported that the persistent practice of yoga helps to enhance the telomere length. These are some of the evidences from latest researches to support the immunomodulation and the health promoting power of yoga and allied mind-body practices. In modern scenario, the people perceive yoga some sort of somatic manipulation, breath regulation, guided concentration, and some sort of mantra recitation, but integral sense, yoga covers the all practices of social and self-discipline like physical distancing and social isolation, somatic manipulation, breath regulation, sensory control, mind concentration, meditation, and of course extrasensory perceptions leading to real knowledge of self and universe, resulting in self-realization and mitigation of all miseries. So the practice yoga starts from the physic and ends at the stage of super consciousness. It helps to establish in the real form and to be freed from all the pros and cons and cycling birth and rebirth of human existence. So in today's session, I'll be focusing on the practical demonstration of some exact yogic practices to empower the immune system and to inhibit the Covid-19. There are 4 planes of human existence. In plain term, we can say physic, mind, heart, and spirit. And if we look at the yogic classical text, bioenergy, prana is accepted as the link between physic and mind. It means if we'll be able to regulate and channelize the bioenergy, pranic system of the human body, it helps to be physically fit, mentally focused, emotionally purified. So I'll prescribe the exact yoga practices to address the physic, mind, heart, and spirit. But due to the time limit, I'll demonstrate the pranic exercises, especially targeting the immunomodulation and the health promotion. Let me share the yogic prescription. Dear friends, if we look at the physic, of course the infection starts from the biological domain. First it attacks the physic, and as a healthcare professional you better know the severe attack of the COVID-19, this SARS coronavirus 2 happens at the angiotensin converting enzyme 2. And our immune system starts fighting against it. There happens the increase of T cells, natural killer cells, and interestingly the macrophages and monocytes attack over it. And if we'll be able to overcome the SARS coronavirus 2, will be asymptomatic. But if will not be able, our immune system will be fragile and will not be able to overcome the infection, then clinical symptoms manifest within the span of 12 days. So I'm just prescribing some yogic practices of physic at first. Let me say, if we look at the integral concept of yoga therapy, the even diet comes under the module of yoga therapy prescription. So as recommended by Ministry of Ayush and the Honorable Acharya Balkrishna of Patanjali Research Institute, the concoction made by some medicinal herbs like ashwagandha, guduchi, tulsi, muleti, ginger, black pepper, resins is very supportive to prevent the infection. Of course, it is immunomodulator, rejuvenator, and cardiopulmonary health booster. So you can think of taking 1 glass of concoction at evening and morning made by these medicinal herbs. Secondly, need of vitamin C, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids is very crucial, and it is very important dietary supplements. You can think of supplying vitamin C by taking the extract of sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn is commonly known as leaberry, and initially the DRDO used to make the extract of sea buckthorn and used to provide this extract to the army personnel working on the Siachen. But in market at present you can find the extract of sea buckthorn that is very good supplement of the vitamin C and other minerals, and it is highly antioxidant, and they, of course, vitamin D plays the vital role to combat the COVID-19 infection. And let us try to cultivate the habit of being exposed in the rays of early morning rising sun. Thirdly, you can think of the intake of flaxseed, chia seeds to supplement the omega-3 fatty acid. And among the postures, I prefer to recommend the loosening and energizing series. Due to the time limit and the technical setup, I am not be able to demonstrate the postures right now, but I'll share the video link of these practices, the especially postural practices, what I am recommending right now. The loosening and energizing series: Tadasan, Trek Tadasan, Kati Chakrasan, Cat Camel, Cobra, Paschimottanasana, and Makarasan. This is the postural sequence. Let me repeat once more. The loosening and energizing series, followed by the practice of Tadasan, Trek Tadasan, Kati Chakrasan, Cat, Camel, Cobra, Paschimottanasana, and Makarasan, is very effective to boost the immune system and to promote the overall health. Thirdly, you can think of going for egg every day, and some of the hermitages of the India, just like Patanjali Yoga Pit and Shanti Kunja Haridwar, have formulated specific herbal oblations to go for egg, and the regular egg in the copper pit with the recitation of Surya Mantra is again very beneficial. Let me come to the recommendation of the pranic exercise. The very first is the Anulom Pranayam. You can say uninostril breathing, Anulom Pranayam. Second is alternate nostril breathing, and you can say Anulom Vilom in common term. Third is the Nadi Shodhan. Fourth is Bhastrika. Fifth is the crown breath. And sixth is the oronasal breathing with Kaki Mudra. And seventh is the Brahmari. And I am demonstrating all these practices. You might be familiar with this nomenclature right from the beginning, but I am not sure how much of you are aware about the innovative and the effective way of practicing them. Let me share first uninostril breathing. In uninostril breathing, first you have to inhale and exhale through left nostril. You have to go through the rapid and forceful inhalation and exhalation through left nostril 10 times. You can go for more times too, but at the beginning I advise you to practice just 10 times. Forceful and rapid inhalation and exhalation through left 10 times. And the same practice 10 times by the right. And this is Anulom Pranayam. You can say uninostril breathing. Let me practice. It helps to clear the both nasal passages and activates the both nasal cycles. What we say, cooling and heating channel in yoga system. And left is the cooling channel, right is the heating system, and the right is the heating one. Let me start. Just to adopt the pranayama mudra, and let us start. This is Anulom Pranayam, uninostril breathing. And secondly, we are going to practice the Anulom Vilom. The technique is little different. First, you have to go through forceful inhalation and exhalation. First you have to go through forceful inhalation through left and exhalation through right. and again forceful inhalation through right and exhalation through left. That is one round. And initially you are advised to practice 10 rounds. Let us start. It activates the both channel and is quite soothing. It helps to you to be distressed and calm and tranquilized. Thirdly, we are going for the Nadi Shodhan. It is the little different than the technique what you might be familiar and you might be practicing. Some of you may be familiar too, I am not sure. In the practice of Nadi Shodhan, first you have to go through forceful and rapid inhalation and exhalation through left nostril. I mean, just you can go through 5 to 10 times. I advise you to go through forceful and rapid inhalation and exhalation 6 times through left at the beginning. And secondly, you have to go through 6 times forceful and rapid inhalation and exhalation through right nostril, and that is the second stage. In third stage, you need to go through deep inhalation through both nostrils and have to retain the breath inside as long as you can, and then have to exhale out through mouth. That is one round of the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, and I advise you to practice just 3 to 5 rounds at the beginning. Due to the time limit, I am just demonstrating one round here. Okay, just go for practice. It's very effective and it is supportive to clean the energy channels, psychic centers, and the nerves and blood vessels and lymph nodes of the physical body too. Let us practice. This is one round of the Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. It's very, very effective practice, and just I advise you to go for 3 to 5 rounds at the beginning, and again that's up to your convenience and comfort limit. And the fourth is Vastrika, and the practice of Vastrika is quite simple, and I advise you to go through 10 to 15 rounds at the beginning. Again, that depends on your convenience. There is no hard and fast rule. First, in this practice, you have to go through forceful inhalation and exhalation through both nostrils. And during inhalation, you will raise your hand, and during exhalation, you will bring down by making the fist, putting thumb inside and fist closer to your chest. And let us go for the practice. At the last stage, we'll go through complete exhalation and the Jalandhar Bandh Jalandhar Bandh, just put the chin on the jugular notch. Let us go for the practice. This is Bhastrika. It imparts your cardiopulmonary health, neurological health. It will contract your perineum during inhalation. It helps to stimulate your carinal and sacral nerves. And if you learn the proper technique of this Bhastrika, it may be the one of the natural technique to stimulate the carinosacral nerves. And as the healthcare professional, you better know the stimulation of craniosacral nerve flow induces the parasympathetic dominance, and that further induces the stage of rest and digest. So it's very supportive to cope with the psychological comorbidities induced by subsequent exposure to the COVID suspected and confirmed cases. And fifth is the crown breath. In this practice, you have to tilt back and have to focus on your crown, and you have to inhale through both nostrils, and by focusing on your crown. At the same time, you can focus on your perineum too. Again, this is very good practice to stimulate the craniosacral nerve flow, and this practice is a sort of subsequent inhalation and exhalation through both nostrils with hyperextended neck, and you can focus at crown and the perineum during inhalation. It's very effective practice. I advise you just to go up to 10 times. That depends on convenience, but if you will feel any sort of hardship and inconvenience, you can customize the round up to 5. No problem. Let me share. This is the crown breathing, and it helps to empower your cardiopulmonary health, neurological health. Yes, we have sorry for inconvenience due to connectivity problem. We face short break. Yeah, I have come to the demonstration of the last breath regulation practice. Second last is the oro-nasal breathing with Kaki Mudra. It is again one of the most effective and innovative practice. Let me say, in this practice, you have to close your both nostrils by your thumb, and you have to shock the air by making your mouth just like the peak of the crow, and you have to hold the breath inside and have to expand your cheek by clenching the teeth and by extending your neck little back, and you have to hold the breath inside by putting your chin on jugular notch. I mean, just by adopting the breath inside as per your convenience, and at the last stage you need to exhale out through your mouth. You need to exhale out through your nostrils. Let me practice, and I advise you to go through 3 to 5 rounds at the beginning. It's a highly effective practice. Let me share. Let me repeat once more. You can go 5 to 10 times as per convenience. It's one of the most effective breath regulation practice. As I told you, Oro nasal breathing with Kaki Mudra. Dear friends, we have come to the last practice of breath regulation, that is Brahmari. And its practicing technique is little different. And I prefer to say it's first Anulom Bilom Brahmari and the and then usual Brahmari what you might be practicing. Let me set the technique first. First, you have to adopt the Sanmukhi Mudra by putting the index finger on your eyebrow, middle finger on the eyelid, and the ring finger on the ends of your nostril, and the little finger on the ends, the lateral corner of your mouth, and thumb on the tragus, and ensure to cut the outside sound by pressing the tragus with high pressure, and inhale through left nostril and create the resonance like the B through right, and again inhale through right and create the resonance through left, and in third stage inhale through both nostrils and create the resonance through both nostrils. That is one round of the Brahmari. Let me practice once more. First, we have to put the thumb on the tragus to cut the outside sound, and the index finger on the eyebrow, middle finger on the eyelid, ring finger on the nostril, and the little finger on the lateral corner of your mouth. This is the proper technique of practicing Brahmari. Let me repeat once more. First, inhalation through left nostril and the creation of the resonance through right. And then inhalation through right and creation of the resonance through left. That's the Anulom Bilom Brahmari. And in third stage, inhalation through both and the creation of resonance through both nostrils. This is the Brahmari. That was the last breath regulation practice of today's demonstration. And under the yogic seals and gestures, I advise you to practice Jalandhar Bandh, Udyan Bandh, Mool Bandh. And interestingly, under the gestures, you can practice Agochari Mudra. It's quite simple. It's just gazing at the tip of your nose. And Viparit Karini Mudra is highly effective. It enhances the flow of blood to your mouth, nasal nares, mucus, and very supportive to inhibit the infection in the conducting airways, especially in the nasal nares and trachea. Sambhavi Mudra and Khechri Mudra, it's quite simple. It's just putting the folded tongue on your palate. It helps the secretion of it stimulates the secretion of the saliva, and as a medical professional you better know as usual, higher secretion of saliva is the indication of the parasympathetic dominance. I mean, it's very supportive to combat the stress induced by persistent exposure to COVID-19 suspected and diagnosed cases. And dear friends, let me share the meditation. The meditation of rising sun at your navel is very supportive to empower the immune system. So I strongly recommend you to practice this Savita meditation. I mean the meditation of rising sun at your navel chakra. That is a sort of visualization of rising sun at your navel site and the expansion of energy throughout your body, eventually to each and every cells, muscles, bones and plexus of body. And the navel is accepted as the nucleus of somatic body in yoga system. Even in medical science, the navel is connected with the umbilical cord, and that supplies the essential nutrients and supplements to the baby, to the fetus in mother's womb. So that was the meditation practice, and let me come to the other practices that address your emotion. I mean that address your heart. Atmabodh, Tattvabodh, prayer of global peace and collective welfare, the practice of donation, I mean time donation, financial donation, and donation of knowledge and free service as you are providing are the practices of the spirit. And this is the tentative yogic prescription of today's presentation. I hope you could get the demonstration and you will be able to practice the especially breath regulation what I have said with you all people. And let me conclude the session. And dear friends, it was very pleasing me to come in the platform of Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research by the invitation of the respected Professor Akshay Anand. I express my sincere gratitude and thanks to him and his team for invitation, support and motivation to share some of my ideas. And lastly, thank you very much to all viewers for your kind attention. I wish you all the best for good health and bright future. Thank you very much.